Chapter 18. Patrick. "Amelia, come and grab your toys," I hollered to my daughter as I step over a small robotic dog. It is Friday night, and though Piper and I have spent a lot of time together this week, it's all been at work. It's been great, though, because she's been leading small group lessons, and I can see her confidence in speaking to people growing. Tonight, though, is not about work. Tonight is just us hanging out, and I want the house to be perfect for when she arrives. Amelia, however, seems to have a different idea. She has been like a whirlwind the last few days, depositing toys and clothes in every room she enters. I'm not sure how much of this is typical behavior and how much might be related to her sensing our relationship changing. "Sorry, Daddy," she says as she enters the room and grabs the toy dog. She's smiling, so I count that as a win, but her emotions have been so turbulent this week. On Monday, she was excited to go to daycare, but then I got a call at lunch that she was bossing other kids around. On Wednesday, the call was that she refused to play with anyone else and only wanted to color by herself in a corner. Thankfully, today she seems much more even-keeled. "That's okay, Em, but Miss Piper is coming over, and I don't want her to trip on anything. So if you can make sure the floor is clean." Amelia nods. "I'll do my best." I finish setting the table while Amelia scours the floor, and then the doorbell rings. Though I see her every day, my pulse quickens as I walk to the door. Piper stands on the other side holding a bag of cashews. I stare at her quizzically as I step back to let her in. "You do remember we're making pizza, right?" Her eyes widen and she gapes at me. "Are you telling me that you've never had cashews on pizza?" She asks this as if I've just told her I never brush my teeth or something. No. Nuts are for snacking and trail mix, not pizza." She shakes her head. "Oh, no. You haven't lived until you've tried pepperoni and cashews on pizza. It adds a salty, buttery crunch, and it is divine." I chuckle and shake my head as I lead the way to the kitchen. "Whoever came up with the idea of nuts on pizza anyway?" "That is actually an amusing story," she says, as she puts the bag of nuts on the counter. Evidently, there was a restaurant owner named Dave Wilson. He had a habit of stealing pizza off people's plates. A little disgusting, if you ask me, but he called it quality control, and his patrons didn't seem to mind. Anyway, one day, a man who was quite drunk wandered in and ordered a pizza with sausage, pepperoni, and onions. Then he asked for a bag of cashews that was kept behind the bar. When his pizza came out, he ripped open the bag and dumped the cashews on the pizza. Since Wilson had never seen this done, he grabbed a slice and took a bite. Realizing it was delicious, he added cashews to the menu. "So we're taking the advice of a drunk man who probably had no idea what he was doing?" Piper is usually very logical, and I can't mesh this story with her sometimes Vulcan-like personality. She rolls her eyes. "No, we're not taking the drunk man's advice. We're taking the advice of all the sober people who came after, tried it, and realized it was amazing. We are simply thanking the original man for trying something we might not have thought of ourselves." "Okay," I say in resignation, knowing that I'll never win against Piper anyway. She can out-argue me any day of the week, and she knows more facts than I ever will. In fact, the woman should go on Jeopardy. She'd probably win a fortune. "Let's put cashews on pizza." "We're putting what on the pizza?" Amelia asks as she enters the room. She'd been returning her stuffed animals and toys to her room and missed the initial conversation. "Cashews," Piper says, and then begins to recount her story. I I realized too late that Amelia probably has no idea what a drunk is and will have a million questions I hadn't planned on answering. But to my surprise, Piper adjusts and simply describes the man as unusual. Surprised, I tilt my head and study her. Maybe it's because I've worked with her for so long, but I hadn't noticed until just now the change that has come over her. She seems much more relaxed and confident in herself. It is evident in her tone and the way she connects with Amelia, and it is reinforced in her attire tonight. Though it's possible one of her roommates still helped her pick out her outfit, I kind of doubt it. It's much more casual than what she wears to work, but it still seems to have her signature on it. I pull out the pizza dough, the sauce, cheese, and other toppings as Piper finishes her story. And when she's done, Amelia turns to me and says, "I agree with Miss Piper. We have to try nuts on pizza." "Yes, ma'am," I say with a smile, and we begin preparing the pizza for the oven. While it cooks, Amelia camps out in the living room with another episode of Smurfs, while Piper and I hang back in the kitchen. "I can't believe you turned my daughter against me," I say, smiling so that Piper will know I'm teasing. She grins back. "I can't help it if your daughter has good taste." "I suppose not, and honestly, if she turns out even half as good as you, I'll be happy." Piper's smile falters and she bites her bottom lip. "You can't mean that. I'm still a mess, remember?" "Well, you haven't spilled anything on me yet." I grin and wink at her. She bats my arm. "We haven't eaten yet, and now you've probably cursed me into doing it." "I don't care." I grab her hands because Amelia is in the next room, but I really want to pull her into my arms. "Look at you. You're relating to my 5-year-old, making pizza with me, and you've looked much more confident when you speak to the people at work lately." "Really?" I nod. "Absolutely. I wouldn't lie to you." "I can't thank you enough for all you've done for me, Patrick. Although I guess some of it was your brother's doing. Hopefully one of these days I can meet him and thank him." "My brother? What do you mean?" Wrinkles flash across her forehead. "It was your brother's idea to attend the speed dating event, right?" "Oh, yeah, right. I forgot about that." And then it hits me that I have lied to Piper. Well, not so much a lie of statement as a lie of omission, but I hate myself for it. However, before I can explain and apologize to her, my doorbell rings again. Piper looks at me in surprise. "Were you expecting someone else?" "No," I say as I head to the door. "It's probably a wrong address or something. The other day, Domino's tried to deliver a pizza I didn't order." But when I open the door, my heart drops into my stomach. It is not a pizza guy on the other side of the door, but Dave. "Hey, stranger," he says, ignoring my face and stepping inside. "I haven't seen you at group or heard from you in a few weeks, so I thought I'd stop by on my way home from work to make sure everything is okay." My mind is running 1,000,000 miles a second as I try to think of a way to keep Piper from talking to Dave. But it's coming up blank, and then Dave sees her. "Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you had company. Are you why Patrick has stopped attending my group?" he asks, stepping toward Piper. A blush spreads across her face. "I didn't know he had other obligations." "I don't," I say, recovering my voice. "I'm not required to attend group. I needed it for a while after my divorce, and then I just stayed. But Piper and I were about to have dinner, Dave, so maybe we can catch up another time?" "Patrick, it's your brother. Why don't you invite him to join us?" Piper asks. "That way I can thank him properly." My heart sinks even further, but I know there's no way to stop what's coming next. All I can do is hope that Piper will understand and forgive me. "Thank me for what?" Dave asks, right on cue. for recommending that Patrick take me to a speed dating event to help with my confidence. Not only did it help, but then we started doing more things together, and I was able to see how amazing he is. Dave looks at me with a raised eyebrow, and I plead with him not to blow my cover. He shakes his head slightly, and I know there will be a discussion later, but at least he doesn't deny it. Instead, he sidesteps just like I did. I'm just glad it all worked out, and I'd love to stay for dinner, but I've got a wife and kid at home waiting for me, so it will have to be another time. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad I got to meet you, and thank you again, Piper says. If she's picked up on his hesitation, she isn't showing it. Dave nods, shoots me another look, and then waves goodbye and disappears. I sigh in relief and shut the door behind him. Your brother didn't make the suggestion, did he? Piper asks, the pleasant tone that was there a minute ago gone from her voice. My shoulders sag. No, but it's not what you think. Dave did suggest that I get you to try new things, but it was my friend Chris who actually suggested the speed dating event. Piper shakes her head. Why did you tell me it was your brother then? To be honest, I didn't. I just didn't correct your assumption that the idea came from him. And I know that doesn't make it okay, but I didn't think you'd agree if it wasn't Dave's suggestion. You seemed so down and I wanted to help. You should have been honest with me. You're just as bad as Ian. Her accusation causes me to physically flinch back. Whoa, I am nothing like Ian. I was trying to help you. Everything I've done has been to help you, Piper. You don't help someone by lying to them. She grabs her purse and shakes her head. Piper, don't go. This is just a misunderstanding. She holds up a hand to stop me. Maybe it is, but I need some time to think about this, Patrick. As she steps out the door, the timer on the oven dings, and I sigh. Where did Miss Piper go? Amelia asks as she hurries to the table. Home. She realized she had some work to do. I open the oven and pull the pizza out. It's a good thing Amelia likes leftovers because there will be plenty. I set the pizza on the table and dish out a slice for each of us. Amelia, blind to what has just happened, babbles on about Papa Smurf and Smurfette, telling me all about her favorite characters and the funny scenes that happened. I smile and chuckle at the appropriate times, although I have no idea what Amelia is talking about. As I take a bite of pizza, a feeling of sadness comes over me. It is actually good, and I'd love to tell Piper that she was right. But I don't know if I'll ever get the chance now. I have to find some way to win her back.